Something else that comes up in your stand up is the travel document not being a passport. My wife was stateless for several years when she first came to the United States. Talk about the trials and tribulations of being a refugee in this country, even one who went to school here, was raised here, and feels pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it was a rough one not having a passport, and that's like that was a real eye opener to being, there's one thing to be stateless on paper, and there's another one to like travel as a stateless person. And the conversations would be pretty humorous sometimes, like when you're traveling and it says where you're born on the travel document. So where's your Kuwaiti passport? I'm like, no, I'm not Kuwaiti. Well, what do you mean you're not Kuwaiti? It says you're born in Kuwait. Like, yes, but both my parents are Palestinian, and in Kuwait it doesn't matter if you're born there. It matters where your parents come from. They're like, okay, well, give me your Palestinian passport. I'm like, man, I don't have Palestine's not a state. I don't have a Palestinian passport. Man, we don't live in Palestine. We live in Houston. We're filing for asylum. Like these, it's exhausting. Imagine answering that like probably 20 times on one trip, and then repeating that over and over again can create this. It's a really toxic thing that happens, and you start feeling like, do I where do I belong, and having this really like empty feeling inside, and just wanting to feel like you're the same as the next person next to you, but your documentation, your paperwork clearly show that you're not, and you're in a very unique position. um, And I just, it was about patience. It's about like just breathing deep and finding a really constructive way to deal with these emotions. And my art was a great medium for me. But, you know, immigration, the asylee process is really long. And even if you get a fast court date and you get your asylum, it takes you 5 years after you're granted asylum to get your green card, and you can't even apply for citizenship until you get 4 years and 9 months after you get your green card. So you're talking about 10 years before you get your citizenship after you're granted asylum, and that creates a lot of tension, and essentially the system is set up in a way where uh, you almost have to do like illegally adjacent things to make a living, or put you in a situation to where you almost have to like be disingenuous, or have to lie in certain cases to just make a living. So it's tough. It's really tough, and it takes a toll on you. And I almost feel like it's by design, so you quit and just go somewhere else, or it creates cheap labor. So yeah, it's something that really needs to be fixed, in my opinion, and more organized, and have some kind of way to see, and hear more cases in a speedy manner, so people can contribute better to America. And it's kind of crazy because you do end up paying taxes while you're doing that. You're a part of society, and you contribute in that way, and you're still seen as someone who's not American. It's a painful one. It's tough.